Hi everyone, this is Dan from Headmania, and today's review will be about an item, a DAC specifically so awesome that I needed glasses because the awesomeness was actually blinding me. Yeah, so let's get to work. Um, Today's review will be about Rockna Wavedream deck. If you have watched my previous reviews, I'm a very big fan of Rogna, and I actually did a old review many years ago about Rogna Wavedream, the first edition, which is an actual older model than this one. And since then, Rogna has actually done a lot of improvements, and they redesigned the item, and they have moved to in-house production. They do their own decks and everything. I also have the Rockna Wavelight, which I actually own, and you can find it in one of my previous reviews. It's actually one of my favorite decks in the world, and I still own it. I still love it. But today's review will be about Rockna Wavedream. This is basically the pinnacle of my experience from the DAC perspective. And I've listened to many DACs so far, and I think the best DAC before this, the best DAC that I have ever listened to was MSB Diamond DAC, which was around $50,000 many years ago. Since then they switched their company. They have a different direction, but definitely this is the best experience that I have with any DAC so far. So I'm gonna try to make this review a little bit short. However, if you want to go into the details, you can actually look on my written website, written review on headmania.org. You'll find there that I also managed, if you know about Headmania and how I started, one of my first the first series of reviews that I made contained a lot of memes, because I wanted something extra to express my emotions and to make it a bit funnier. Since then, I stopped using memes, but I always felt the need of expressing my emotions, because this hobby for me is very important. It's leaving a certain part of emotions and leaving some things that what this hobby offers in terms of that. And I wanted to express my emotion more than words, and I'm not the best in this regard, I think. Compared to, I'm not an artist or a poet or anything, but with the new AI tools I managed to create some images that express my experiences with images, and maybe you'll find it interesting on the website. But let's get into the review. First of all, this is not a very cheap deck. Let's say it's at the top of Rogna, and considering to what I've heard until now, I mean, I think it's like owning a Bugatti or Ferrari or something like that. So, and definitely from the sound perspective, I reached the same conclusion. It's something amazing. It's really amazing. I was floored by the sound experience. And this is one of the reviews where I'm very excited, because the experience itself, the review itself, the journey for the review itself was amazing. I mean, it's a pleasure just to listen to music on such a device, because it completely changed my experience. So, first of all, as listening gear, I used an AHB2 power amp. I used even a Topping A90 discrete as both a headphone amp, but also a preamp for AHB2 from Benchmark. I also used the Meze Elite headphones. I used the Meze Lyric. I also used the Hi-Fi Mine HE1000 SE, which is one of my favorite headphones as well. Really revealing and fast. And of course my speakers, you can not see them very well, but you can see part of it here. The speakers are Martin Logan ESL 11A. So I used a lot of gear on it for the testing itself, and it sounded amazing on all of it. But let's go into the sound. First of all, it's so real. It includes a level of realism that I have not experienced so far with any DAC that I listened to. It basically has a huge soundstage. It's amazing, and I found myself in a lot of situations where, because of the soundstage and the layers and layers of details that are presented in a very realistic way, listening at night, I found myself checking if, while listening to headphones, checking if by mistake I did not leave the speakers on while listening to headphones as well. Besides that, I also got startled many times at night because I had the impression the sound was coming somewhere around the room. That's basically, that's kind of the essence of this. It sounds so real, so it's amazing from every detail. I mean, the bass, for example, let's go through a little bit of parts of the sound. The bass is amazing. It's so deep. It takes you by surprise because at one point you don't expect to go deeper, but it does. The level of control and detail on the bass is absolutely stunning. It also has incredible punch and control, so it's just a pleasure to listen to. If you go to the mid-range, that's the entire universe. That's amazing. I mean, you explore, you see new things. You're like Picard, trying to explore new worlds, new possibilities. Because I found myself, I know this is kind of something a lot of reviewers say, but I re-listened to a lot of music because I found some things that I did not notice before. Some things like an artist breathing in the background, or some sound in the background, or a reverberation for a pluck, or a guitar, or a plucking instrument and stuff like that. It's not only that it's really really detailed, but it's also amazingly textured. I don't know how to put it, but you can feel the material of the instruments. You can hear the vibration. You can feel everything about it, and it's just there. It's in front of you. You can touch it. You can feel the vibe, the material on it. In terms of treble, it's also really nice. It's very very good. It's very detailed, especially for an R2R DAC. I don't find it harsh at all. It's actually very good integration with the other parts of the sound. And if you have something that like HE1000 from Hi-Fi Money, it's really good on treble. You'll see that it scales a lot there as well. In terms of let's go to the soundstage. The soundstage is like, you either become smaller or you go into a very big hall listening to it, but it's not something like AD800 where it creates like bigger soundstage in terms of sometimes you feel like it's unnatural. No, it's amazing because it is big, but it's also really realistic. It's also very holographic. You can feel everything around it. You can see the instruments that are one part of the sound stage, somewhere in the depth, or somewhere near close to you, or somewhere above you, or something like that. It's amazing. Besides that, if you go to the transients, the attack is really powerful. It's really precise. The decay is also. I mean, I've heard some DACs that are fast, but sometimes that comes to from the decay being too fast in terms of it kind of takes a little bit from the sound. No, this is fast, very controlled, decay, and very detailed. So the sound can be it's as fast as it needs to be. And it can go really really fast depending on the music, of course, but the details there, how you can stop on the dime. I mean, the leading edges of every sound is so clear. It's like, the precision is amazing, the timing of it is amazing, the dynamics is amazing, and the dynamics is not only from a macro perspective, but it's a very big punch, but also the microdynamics is amazing as well. You can feel and hear little stuff in the background, or parts of the instruments, or something like that. It's just incredible. If we go in terms of tonality, of course, as I mentioned before, this is a very natural tonality, and if you know me, basically my favorite DACs in the world are R2R DACs. This is my preference, of course. Everybody has a preference, and this is mine. I'm not sure. I mean, I tried to listen to Delta Sigma DACs, and I've been impressed by very few, but definitely this tops everything I've heard so far. So the tonality is great. It's, as I said, it's close to realistic. It's the realism. It's realistic basically. You have natural voices, natural textures, everything. The vocals themselves are amazing in terms of they have so much texture and so much detail in that texture that sometimes you can. I felt, and actually not sometimes, a lot of times, I felt like the voice was coming from my throat or from my chest. And that's sometimes that's a little bit weird because it's weird to feel like someone is singing through your throat. But that creates a level of intimacy and level of engagement in the music that is hard to achieve. So I love that as well about this deck. Overall, someone actually, if you want to know how it compares to Wavelight is still amazing. I love that DAC a lot. Actually, when I listened to the Wavelight after Wavedream, I was afraid I would not like it anymore, but I do. However, it's like the little brother of Wavedream. It's the Wavedream is in a totally different league, because the level of details that is added compared to Wavelight is levels and levels. You have layers and layers above the soundstage, and is considerably bigger than with Wavelight. The spatiality information around it's considerably better on Wavedream as well, and the timing, the flow of the music, the transients are much more precise on Wavedream. As I told you, it can stop on a dime. It's amazing. I mean, that feeling is actually something. It's nice to experience for yourself. But to some degree, Wavelight is also amazing because to a small portion of that price, actually it reaches a level that it's still one of my favorite DACs in the world, right? And I would pick Wavelight compared to a lot of DACs that I've heard. I still think it's one of the top DACs that I've heard, and I'm still keeping it. But one day I'm gonna have the Wavedream. But what I like about the Wavelight, it still punches. I mean, the macro dynamics is amazing. The micro is not on the same level, of course. The macro is still very good. The tonality is really natural as well. It's kind of warmer. It's actually warmer than Wavedream, and it's a little bit smoother. And not because of lack of dynamics. No, it's incredibly punchy. It's smoother because it's a bit more warmer, and the voices are closer to you. Sorry. The voices are closer to you, or more intimate. They don't have the same level of details in the textures, but they're amazing as well. With Wavedream, you'll gain levels and levels of textures and detail in plus, but still, overall, Wavelight, you still need to hear this, and it brings a good amount of what Wavedream brings, but at a much lower price. But you get a very good idea. So overall, Wavedream is the best DAC that I've listened to. I'm amazed of it, and I'm very happy that I had the chance to listen to it. I hope that I'm gonna own one day soon. And I hope that you actually enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, by the way, look at the previous video. I created a Telegram channel. If you wanna go to that Telegram channel, you'll find me there as much as possible when I have time to respond. And if you have any questions, you can talk there or add it on the website directly in the comments. I don't have a lot of time to go to the comments on the website, but Telegram, because I have the phone with me all the time, I might have the time. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for going back to Headmania, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. Have a great one.